What is going on, beautiful people? Good evening. Cold Front is here. Cold Front Mafia. How are you? Got to tell you, I'm in a pretty good mood here. Recently, what's happened with the Buffalo Bills is not something that we really have much to complain about. A couple of recent moves made by the new head coach, of the Buffalo Bills, Joe Brady. He's knocking it out of the park. He's really filling up his staff nicely. The most recent hire by Joe Brady is his defensive coordinator and the Buffalo Bills' new defensive coordinator, Jim Leonhard. Most recently, he was in Denver as their pass game coordinator for the 2025 season. Along with Jim Leonhard, Joe Brady decides and is able to hire his offensive coordinator, which is insane how two people can come from the same organization within 3-4 days' time to go to the same place. Pete Carmichael Jr. has been hired by Joe Brady as the Bills' offensive coordinator. And we got some momentum, okay? We're on a roll. Bills Mafia is on a roll here. Joe Brady is certainly on a stinking roll. And if I've ever seen anybody come in with a bang as a head coach, for first-time head coach, being the youngest head coach in the NFL. Now, that might change here in the next few weeks. So this will be a funny stat. Joe Brady may be the youngest head coach in the NFL for the shortest period of time of all time, because in another couple of weeks, if Grant Udinski or Davis Webb gets hired as a head coach here, and I think Udinski's out, but if somebody gets hired here recently, Joe Brady might have the shortest stint of all time of being the youngest head coach of all time, within that season ever. But I digress. We'll see. So Pete Carmichael Jr., best known, we're going to start there, offensive coordinator, again, coming from the Denver Broncos, where he was just most recently their senior offensive assistant for the last two seasons in 2024 and 2025. But Carmichael's mainly known for his stint in New Orleans. Started out as a quarterbacks coach for New Orleans and then the passing game coach after a couple of seasons, but mainly was an offensive coordinator from the years of 2009 all the way through 2023 in New Orleans. Now, I realize, listen, I understand the New Orleans Saints have not been all that great in the most recent history, right? Drew Brees retired in 2020, and since then, it's been somewhat of a rough go for that franchise. However, prior to that, with Drew Brees, we're talking about one of the better quarterbacks to ever play the game of football under the tutelage and or I don't want to say hamstring, but under the umbrella of Pete Carmichael Jr., who was the mastermind behind the damn offense for Drew Brees. He's an older gentleman now. When I say older, I just mean he's not one of these new, shiny, bright toys that the NFL is throwing out there that everyone's, has been talking about in the last few weeks, and deservingly so. But he's not one of these young guns that, is brand new and is 30 years old or less or anywhere close to 30 years old. Quite honestly, I think, let me look at it. He's 54, so he's not an old man. But by comparison to the other candidates that have been running around here for head coaching vacancies and coordinator spots, he's not one of the youngsters. That's all I mean by that. Does not mean that he's not proven himself in the NFL, which he obviously has done, because like I said, being the offensive coordinator of the New Orleans Saints in the middle of their heyday is something that we cannot look past. And being that he is a veteran when it comes to the NFL, he obviously didn't seem he knew going into this role that he was not going to be calling plays. Joe Brady, when he took the head coaching role, said and told all of us that I'm going to be calling the plays. All right, I'm not stepping away from my duty of calling the plays in game for the Buffalo Bills offense. Hey, no problem, Pete Carmichael said. That's fine. I don't need that burden, or I don't need that credit to be given to me. You do your deal. Let me do what I do in the background. I don't need to be the face of anything. So, perfect fit. Now, the ties with Joe Brady lead back to the Sean Payton days in New Orleans, where Joe Brady also started. So we kind of, when you think about it after it comes out, you say, you know what? Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Joe Brady learned a lot from him in his younger years. And when I say younger years, I mean, listen, Joe Brady's not old, but he got a lot of knowledge and a lot of education, from Pete Carmichael when they were both in New Orleans as well. So, well, let me get into this first real quick. Chris, go Bills. Yes, sir. First of all, appreciate everybody in here. Thank you. Let me know if you're not subscribed yet. Subscribe to the channel. Put that notification bell on where we get on here as often as we possibly can. We do a lot of short videos as well on all platforms, YouTube and TikTok and Instagram. Instagram, we're just starting to try to pick it up. We're 3 months into this. We're having a lot of fun. We're starting to get some momentum, I think. So the easiest way to help us out here is to subscribe to the channel, like the video, share it, tell all of your people. We got this cold front mafia we're trying to build. Huge Bills fans, and we're on top of everything that we possibly can be, and we'll give you updates and then our insights as we go. But like I said, please do me a favor, follow along, get that subscriber count up for me, like the videos, and we'll see where we go. We have some big news shortly within the next few weeks. We are partnering up with some really good friends that we've made just while doing this in the last 3 months that are very big in this game. And they are extremely smart people. They know ball, and they do really well here on the social media stuff. So I'm really excited to start to do some work with them. I'll let you know when we get there. I just don't want to say yet until it actually happens. So I appreciate every one of you. Chris, Sabres and Bandits. Gotcha. Yeah. So I'm assuming you're from Western New York, Chris. Yes. Not enormous into hockey. I can get. I mean, I love hockey. I think it's one of the best games in the world to watch live. That is for damn sure. I never played hockey. I did play football. I played baseball. I played basketball. I played college baseball and basketball. Then I played minor league professional baseball. So I am an athlete, but never got into the hockey thing. But it's a great game, and Sabres are doing fantastic things right now. So hopefully we can stay on that I don't want to say roller coaster, but stay on that trajectory and keep that rolling out there in Western New York. Let's go, Buffalo. Jonas. Yes, sir. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Let me know where you're from. A buddy of mine does this all the time, and I'm really interested to see where everybody's from when they're in here chatting it up. Ethan Davis, my man. How are you? New setup. No. Well, so I guess kind of just a spare bedroom upstairs that we really didn't have much going on. We didn't use it all. We kind of set this up and threw some cameras up here. But then when the season started, when we started getting going with this thing, like, I don't know, December, when we started doing some live reactions of games, because we wanted the whole family and we always watch games together, we just bring all the stuff downstairs to the main living room. And that's what you've probably seen most recently. And I've just been too lazy to bring it back up here. So this is just kind of our Bills shrine. And this is just a room of nothing. So I said, shoot, if we're going to continue to do this more often and stay consistent with it, that's what we'll use the room for. Chris Henry, what's up, baby? Go Bills. 175. Yeah. Is that where we're at now? I don't even know. Is that one? Yeah. I mean, it seems, Chris, it seems like every time we do one of these, which I wish I had more time, right? I do, but I don't have that much time. And every time we do one of these things, we pick up X amount of subscribers. I don't know how many, but it just we're jumping, I guess. Yeah, we're having a good time, like I said. Until we get to make money, I'm not going to stress about it. Just having a good time. But if somebody wants to pay us to do it, then maybe things will change. So close to 200. I know. Listen, I remember, I want to say a month ago, well, Dan Mitchell was like, hey, like, help this dude out. I was on one of his shows, help him out, give him some subscribe. I don't know, we were like 40. And I'd like to say it's going pretty good. How's it going, buddy? Yeah, feeling good about hire so far. Yeah, I mean, we're about to get into, we kind of started with Carmichael. We're going to get into some more, but I wanted to take some of these, chats here. I'm thrilled. I don't know, Chris, if you were on, well, actually, no, we kind of comment back and forth a little bit on YouTube. So you see the shorts, right? The videos that we put on YouTube. I do it on TikTok as well. I've been having a hell of a time following this coaching staff search. And I gotta be honest, these last few days, like, I'm still hurt for Sean McDermott because I thought he did such a beautiful job with what he did to the Bills organization and to Western New York as a whole, right? And I feel bad for him, just on a personal level. It has nothing to do with football. I just feel bad for the guy because he's such a good dude, in my opinion. So that still sucks for him. But what I'm watching now and what I'm seeing and what's going on, first of all, Joe Brady absolutely knocked it out of the park on his introductory press conference. You could tell he was nervous, and that's fine. You know, a lot of people I've read, well, act like you've been there before. Well, he hasn't. And no head coach ever has the first time that they do an introductory press conference. It's always their first time at some point. Okay, so you can't act like you've been there before if you haven't. And if you do, that means you're trying to act some way that you don't know. You're faking it. Don't fake it. Be who you are. And what I realized underneath the surface of that press conference, I think I put this out there as well. To me, Joe Brady, during his press conference, when he was looking at his angle, which seemed to be to his left and down from the podium, where some of the players on the roster were sitting, he kept on addressing them over and over and over. I mean, obviously, he did his family. He did Sean McDermott. He did the Bills organization. He did the Pagulas and Brandon Beane, and rightfully so. I think he deserves to hit on all of those topics. But he kept on going back to the players to the point where he said, my entire job now is to make sure that you boys are set up for success. That's all that matters. If you are set up for success, then I have done my role and my job responsibility to the best that I can do it. It opened up who Joe Brady is. The only time we see Joe Brady really is midweek press conferences when he's asked a few questions about his wide receivers or his screen passes or the X's and O's, right? The X's and now listen, that's as big a part as anything in the game of football. I understand. But we never really understood who Joe Brady was because we never got him behind the camera, or I'm sorry, in front of the camera, I guess I should say, like you do the head coach, right? Sean McDermott. We know about him. We know about his demeanor. We know what makes him tick. We know how he feels about the players. We know how we certainly know the questions that he evaded about the medical and the injury list always. And then we found out that it's because the medical staff didn't even report to him. They reported to Brandon Beane. That's another conversation. I don't want to get into it. But we really understand who a head coach is because of the amount of time that they have put and that they always are asked to put in front of the camera that we can all absorb and take in. Didn't get much from Joe Brady. And after that press conference, I think I understand why Josh Allen, who was an enormous part of that next hire, said, that's my guy. I think I get it now. I really do. He seems as if he truthfully, in his bones, and he wasn't just making this up. I think it seems really sincere. I think he was saying how he acts every day, which is I'm here for my guys. My guys, my guys, my guys. And I think that just bleeds off into them. And they truly want what's best for Joe Brady. They truly respect him. They know he has their back. And they know that he's a smart guy that puts them in position for success. And I think that just showed its face blatantly during that press conference. So kudos to him. Now, as far as what he's done in his first, what has it been? 5 days? In my opinion, is an A+. A+ minus special teams. But I also think that he got a little bit of a bad rep because the Arizona Cardinals personnel is that bad. The rest of his career has not been as bad as it was in the last year or so in Arizona. Jonas, go Buffalo from Oregon. Oh, wow. Okay, awesome. Oregon, phew, I'm 46. I've been through it all the time. Rough, tough times. I'm hopeful and excited with the new DC. He seems like he's going to bring the heat. Oh, listen, we're going to get into it. I am super pumped, Jonas. Appreciate you, man. Subscribe to the channel. I don't know. I'm trying to remember everybody, and I will say that, you know, most people, I can remember their names and come in often. I appreciate it very much, and we had a good conversation. Trying to remember. Actually, I think we may have spoken at one point, but if not, appreciate you coming in here, man. Thank you. Oregon, love it. We're from New York, upstate New York. We're not Buffalo, about 2 hours east of Buffalo, but upstate New York. We share their pain with the weather. Believe that. So, Oregon, I've never been out there. I'd love to go golf Bandon Dunes, if that makes any sense, if you're a golfer, but I've never made it out there. Chris, they were just interviewing Brady and Beane at the hockey game. Oh, sounds good, but time will tell. Okay, so they were all at a Sabres game? That would make sense. Yep. Donuts, I like the decor. Oh, I appreciate it. We just litter stuff, the balls. I think they're over here. Yeah, that's right here. That's Dalton Kincaid. So let's just hope and hope and hope that Dalton goes nowhere. Okay. Doesn't sound like he is, but I just have a funny feeling that I don't want to talk about it, but hope he stays here. We actually got that at football at one of the Bills games. They have mystery packs. You don't know who it is. You pay X amount of dollars. It can be anywhere from a signed Josh Allen down to, someone that most people might not really know who they are. And we pulled a pretty good ball there. So really, as far as like an investment, if you want to call it that, we really hit that one big. For those of you who don't know, we do have 2 boys. I have 2 sons, my wife and I, 11 and 9 years old. The 11-year-old is on here from time to time. He did our live reactions and he's done a couple of videos. Huge Bills fan. We all love him. And he's my guy. I love them both. But the one really wants to get on here. The other one wore like a banana outfit, some Fortnite thing the last time he was on. I think we good. I agree. I think that I'm extremely happy. So, all right. I remember we got kind of asked you to raid you and then Tom got ready. Yeah. Oh, that for sure. Yeah. I remember that night. I had no idea what the hell that was about. I didn't even know what it meant. And much appreciated. That's about the time where things kind of like started to pick up. So, yeah, we've actually been following them and chatting with them off and on as well. Not so much Grassi, but Ask You. Grassi, I think, just hit 1 million, right? Subscribers. What a cool dude. I watched a bunch of his videos with the 30 stadiums. I want to say in 30 days. Was that what he did? I watched that. Like, awesome. Charity work. Freaking just what a good guy, right? Obviously, I don't know him. He just seems like a really good guy. Ethan was also part of the Ask You Sports, right? Okay, gotcha. When you're around 80, been there ever since. Seems like you started to grow more in conference as well. It's nice to see. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's easier for me to like click around here and know what I'm doing on the computer, which really, really helps. I also just, listen, I'm not good at this stuff. All this stuff. I'm not a computer guy. I think I might have told you guys I'm in the automotive industry. I run car dealerships. So I'm more of a let's talk and chat, and I talk with my hands and I'm energy and all that other stuff. But as far as the digital things, like not good. So now that I know a little bit more about what I'm doing and how to look at everything, makes me be able to just kind of talk and hang out, which if I know a lot of people don't like the automotive industry, I get it. But it's pretty easy for me to just chat and talk with people. I was initially pissed off about Joe Brady, but after some time and the presser, I'm feeling better. Okay, great point here. I didn't even see. I was at work and I didn't even see it. I looked down to my phone, and my wife, who saw it first, said Joe Brady head coach, and I about threw up. And it really wasn't that I was mad, right? It was more so that I was stunned, shocked, surprised. I thought there was no way. With the candidates that were popping up left and right and all of the interviews that the Bills were conducting, I thought literally zero chance did Joe Brady have to take this role. Until I heard that Josh Allen was going to be even more of a part of the decision-making process than Pagula and Bean told us he would be during the press conference after they let Joe Brady go. So then I kind of was like, maybe he goes up a couple of notches as far as his opportunity to take over that role. And then all the question marks of whose decision was it for personnel changes and picking of personnel, drafting. Was it even McDermott that these are narratives that people push. Was it McDermott that handcuffed Joe Brady and didn't allow him to open up his bag when it comes to calling plays and staying conservative, and all these 3rd and 12 bubble screens behind the line of scrimmage that everybody hates and all this other stuff. Was it Joe Brady? I'm sorry. Was it McDermott telling him, don't turn the ball over, so stay ultra conservative? There was a lot of what ifs. We're never going to know. And at this point, the dust has kind of settled. I still, like I said in the beginning, I still feel bad for Joe Brady. I'm sorry, Sean McDermott. I do. On a personal level, not that I'm personal with him, but on a human-to-human level, it's like, that sucks. He did a lot to just kind of, see you later. And the way that it was all done, questionable. I'll admit that. I'm not going to not be a Bills fan, but I'll admit that I think it could have been done a lot better, which is part of the reason why I think Brady did such a good job in his initial presser, because he did more for Sean McDermott, I feel, than the Bills did. What do you guys think about that? What is everyone's thoughts about how did Joe Brady handle Sean McDermott versus how the Bills handled Sean McDermott? And I'm talking publicly in their press conferences. That's a, to be determined, and everyone's going to have their opinion. But mine is Joe Brady did him more respect and honor, I think, than the Buffalo Bills did. It's kind of crazy, but I really think that that's the case. I think Joe Brady crushed it. So let's get into his his hires. We're on Pete Carmichael. I don't want to repeat what we did, but what I am going to do is I'm going to show you guys why I think Pete Carmichael could do really good things with Josh Allen in this offense. Now, keep in mind, we also mentioned earlier, and we're going to say it again, keep in mind that this does not mean that Pete Carmichael is the man that's going to be calling plays. He's not. Joe Brady's still calling plays, abundantly clear from minute one. But I just want to show you some rankings here of Pete Carmichael's offense when he was in, New Orleans with Drew Brees under center. Okay, this is when it started. All right, 2009 through 2023. Keep in mind, this right here, 2020, was the last year with Drew Brees. Okay, so after 2020, you could see these initial, immediate drop-offs. These are rankings, by the way, in all these respective categories. Rankings in the NFL. I mean, look at this. 21. Anyway, okay. Basically, he had a little lull here in points between 2014 and 2016. I think one of those years was the 1 year out of 8 where Drew Brees was not a Pro Bowler as well, so keep that in mind. But look at this here. Points. 171, 15-7. Here's that little lag. 2022-17, 6-1-5-2. That's points per game. Well, I'm sorry, that's total points. Here's yards. 9-4-2, 26, a little weird. 2, 9, 18, 3, 5, 10, 7, 2. Okay. This is offensive coordinator. All right. Offensive coordinator. Now, if you listen, we can go back to, there's also a question mark here. The Saints had a pretty legitimate, which we'll see, rushing offense at times. But Drew Brees also carried the game, him and him only, for the majority. Okay. So we still have the number one rushing running back in the National Football League. So let's keep that in mind. Okay. And I don't see Pete Carmichael just completely rotating the entire offense up on its head. There's no reason to do that. And Joe Brady's still calling plays, so there's no way Joe Brady's going to allow it, even if that's what Pete Carmichael wanted to do. I just want you guys to get an understanding that Joe Brady has learned a ton from this gentleman, brings him back, and here's what this guy's resume says. Oh, and by the way, he's a Super Bowl champion, okay, as an offensive coordinator. That's what we're looking for at the end of the day. Okay? That's what we're looking for. We want a Super Bowl. Everybody in here, everyone that's chatted, everyone that's not. If you haven't chat, put it in here. Tell me, just put in the words Super Bowl, because that's all that matters. We don't care to sell tickets. We don't care to sell jerseys. Do we? I don't. I couldn't care any less. I mean, obviously, I want them to have money to be able to afford to pay players, but ultimately to do what with paying players? Win a Super Bowl. That's all that matters. Super Bowl or nothing. So the experience as an offensive coordinator, taking a team not only to the Super Bowl, but winning a Super Bowl is there. All right. We didn't have that with Ken Dorsey. We didn't have that with Joe Brady. We don't have that with Joe Brady. I'm just saying it's a notch up. Okay. Put that under the, okay, check that box for Pete Carmichael. Right now, and this is what we're talking about. The ranking of rushing offense, little lax in the beginning, right? Little lax here. 6 was decent. 28 is obviously bottom 3. Okay, 6th again. 25th, 25th, 13th, 24th, 16th. Okay, that's yards. All right. That's ranking in the NFL. Now, touchdowns seems as if, and I kind of remember these days in the mid 2010 era, when they would punch a lot of these things in once they got in the red zone through via the ground. Okay. And a lot of that, I believe, was out Kamara. He was a threat out of the backfield as well. But so is James Cook, and so is Ty Johnson. I hope that we keep Ty Johnson. But a lot of similarities with this team is what I'm kind of getting at here. Now, another attachment, if you will, Brandon Cooks also played on this team under this offensive coordinator. I hope he stays around. I don't know what you guys feel. I hope Brandon Cooks stays on this football team. He came out and basically laid it on thick, too, after the season. He got interviewed, or no, maybe it's an Instagram, a social media post. That boy wants to say, I think his words literally and I'm almost quoting him here. Let's run it back, Buffalo. So I don't think Brandon Cooks wants to go anywhere, and I don't think he should. That's me. Let's take a few more comments here. I agree. Okay, that was a little while ago. I think you were talking about Joe Brady and his presser, just based on timing. Joe Brady giving McDermott more of the honor that he deserves than the Bills did. Filthy Dollar Bills. What's up, man? What's up, Cold Front? What are your thoughts on Justin Jefferson's comments on Joe Brady? Do you think JJ will reunite with Brady? Oh, my God, these conversations are so fun, aren't they? I mean, can you just imagine? Filthy Dollar Bills. Can you just freaking imagine that? I know I heard it. And as a matter of fact, well, yeah, I'm going to bring up a tweet here in a moment. I'm going to star this. I'm not going to forget about you. I can't play. I know I don't have a lot of subscribers here and I don't get millions and millions of views and all this, but I literally played a short video from X on YouTube a couple of weeks ago. It was like a replay. It was probably one of the catches or no catches that were happening every single day in the conference championships. And YouTube stopped my video and said it was copyright. I'm like, I'm not even making money. How is it copyright? I'm showing you somebody on X. It's not like I went to NFL like that. Now, listen, I do pay for NFL Pro is what it's called for the All 22 film, which I also do watch. And I tend to actually study, and I'll put some clips up there, but they're very short. Anyway, so I got to be careful. That's all I'm saying. I'm going to star that. I'm going to show you. We'll at least get a quote or something up there. Ethan, I really like how you try your best to show as many actual stats as well. Well, I appreciate that. I think they mean a lot. That's another argument that people have on these social media things that I've come accustomed to realizing, I guess, or I'm used to it. A lot of people love statistics. They love advanced metrics, and they kind of live and die by them. And I totally get it. I mean, these statistics are not made up. They're not fake. They're not false. They are real. A lot of people say that statistics are stupid and things have to pass the eye test and you don't know ball, just because you read numbers. I've heard that about people too. I'm not saying that I've really heard that myself from people, but it's been out there. I've read it. I think it's both. All right. I think the best stance that I can give when it comes to statistics is they're very important. So is film. And so is the one thing that none of us have. As smart as anybody on media channels wants to admit it, media is not even allowed in their practices. Okay, so the one thing we don't have, any of us, is inside the locker room speak and talk and the conversations and really understanding the relationship between a coach and a player, or two players, or a player and a general manager, or all of those. We don't know. We can speculate. We can have some of these people that, are on this mainstream media tell us what they think because someone that they won't even say told them. Sometimes it's right, sometimes it's not. I think you have to pair them. I think you have to pair statistics. You have to pair what you see with your eyeballs, live, game time, and crowd noise and situational as well. Because I also like to watch games back with the crowd noise and see where the momentum is. Because a lot of times when you're watching the All 22, there's no audio. So you really can't tell if somebody might be more nervous in some third and long in the fourth quarter than they were at first first and 10 in the first quarter when it was a 0-0 ball game. The crowd noise plays into it. So that's also something that we can't really tell. We can't really tell. We do our best to make an educated decision and, predict a thing or two, I guess. But thank you. And I will continue to do that because I think that they're both extremely, extremely important. Relaxer, Super Bowl, baby. Yes, sir. Thank you. Relaxer, how are you, man? Appreciate you coming back in here. Mike Trey. Yeah, Mike, okay. Just a quick question. Sorry, just tuning in, but I have a legit question for you. Well, there's no need to apologize. That's quite all right. I appreciate you coming in at all. Make sure you subscribe while you're in here. I have a legitimate question you may have already addressed, but how much control did Sean Payton have to do with those stats? Oh, other than Pete Carmichael. So Sean Payton calls plays on the offense, just as if, or basically the same type of situation that's going to go on in Buffalo. I will say, though, that we found out that Sean Payton, well, see, this is what I'm saying. This is inside locker room talk. Sean Payton apparently was somewhat willing to give up play calling duties if the Saints were able to take Joe Brady over as their offensive coordinator. How's that for size? How is that? So that's what we have in Joe Brady, by the way, because if Sean Payton, the egotistical, in my opinion, egotistical maniac, was willing to give up play calling duties to someone else, he had to be pretty highly touted, if you ask me. Because Sean Payton, I'm not a fan. He's a very good football coach. As a guy, as a human, again, I don't know him. Things that I've seen that are out there, it's not that I get inside information. Doesn't seem like my type of guy, but that's just me. So he had a lot to do with it, no question. There is no question. I'm not saying that Pete Carmichael was everything to that offense. They also had Drew Brees. They had Alvin Kamara. They had Mark Ingram. They had what I thought was one of the better wide receivers in the NFL for an extremely long time. He was very quiet, didn't get the attention that he deserved. His name was Michael Thomas. Absolute stud. And they had, behind Michael Thomas, they had Marquez Colston, right? I'm trying to remember back. Yeah, Marcus Colston was also one of Drew Brees' biggest threats for quite a while down there in New Orleans. So Sean Payton was probably just the same, if not even a rung above. But Sean Payton, being an egotistical maniac, kept Carmichael there for a long time if he wasn't the real deal, right? Do you get what I'm saying there, Mike Trey? I mean, we're talking about how many years is this? That is 14 years, 14 seasons in a row. And I don't think, well, we just saw this with Denver. I don't think Sean Payton has an issue launching somebody's ass in 20 minutes. So 14 long seasons is a long time for Sean Payton to be hanging someone around. I think that's a testament to who he is. Sorry about that. That's what he was able to accomplish down in New Orleans. Seasoned vet with ties to, the Payton tree. Joe Brady and him already have a fantastic relationship. Joe Brady tops extremely high of him. And Joe Brady made it very clear from ground zero. I will not be hiring my friends. Okay? I am not going to be hiring my friends. I'm hiring the best people to take over this franchise and move it to the next level, which the only next level now, people, is Super Bowl. There is no next level. And Terry Pagula can say whatever the heck he wants in his presser, saying this is not a Super Bowl or bust situation. Well, you just launched a guy that got you to 3 AFC championships, won you 5 straight divisions, and made it to 6 of the last 8 divisional rounds. I mean, if it's not Super Bowl or bust, then why'd you fire him? Just be real with people. I went on a rant after that presser. You guys can go to the channel and watch that. Whoa. I was not happy with some of the things that they said. But who the heck am I? They don't care. Dexy Gaming. What's up, Dexy? I think Leo Chanel and PJ Locke will be free agent targets. for us with Jim Leonard as defensive coordinator. This is going to be a big talk, Dexy. And we can shift over to Jim Leonard. We've been talking about Carmichael for a little bit here. I think Carmichael's a B+ to A- sign all day. All day. Matter of fact, I don't even think you can put a B+. I think he's an A. I think he's an A. To find a mind like that doesn't care not to call plays. Checkbox A for me. Jim Leonard. Jim Leonard, although has never called plays in the NFL, had a very good NFL career of 10 years, I believe, playing, and was able to turn a Wisconsin defense into top 3 in almost every single defensive category that you can think of when he was in college. And then, he gets to the NFL and quickly becomes this boy wonder type deal. Okay? Everybody was talking about him. How the Bills got him, I don't know. But here's what Jim Leonard likes to do, and this is really my only question mark with him, and it's not even with him. And I'm not even going to say it's less of a signing because of this either. But I do feel that the Bills personnel at this moment in time is not necessarily set up perfectly for Jim Leonard's thought process and the way that he attacks offenses. So there is going to be a lot of what we're seeing here. Either free agency. Don't know if we're going to go a trade route. Maybe 1 or 2. I don't know if it's going to be blockbuster either. And or draft. I think they look to draft. And I'll tell you why. Because the linebackers in this draft, I think, will be able to fall to the level that the Buffalo Bills can draft a couple of these names. And I'm going to show you a couple of who I'm talking about. While I pull that up, though, Jim Leonard mainly runs a 3-4 defense. Sean McDermott does not. Sean McDermott runs a base 4-2, 4-3 once in a while. He ran mainly a 4-2 with 5 defensive backs. If you got a 3-4, there's no 5 defensive backs. There's no nickel. It's 4 defensive backs. 2 corners, 2 safeties, usually. But he also runs more than anybody in the NFL. If we look at the Denver Broncos statistics, the Denver Broncos ran more one high safety look than anyone in the NFL. And they ran more man-to-man defense than anyone in the NFL. So you're not going to get away with what you have and how it's set up. If you have 3 linemen, you're going to play more of a 1 tech and like 2 5 techs, meaning a true nose tackle or nose guard, whatever you call it, that lines up just about over this dead nuts on the top of the center. And then your 2 other linemen are going to line up almost in that 5 gap, which is just on the inside of the tackle. Or I'm sorry, on the outside of the tackle even. So you also ask a lot of your tackles to be really good, strong rush stoppers, because you only have 3 linemen for the most part, right? You can have some outside linebackers that can play in a 3-point stance or 2-point stance on the line of scrimmage from time to time. Obviously, it's going to be, shifted up. But I don't think that the way that we're set up is perfect for his scheme. That 3-4 deal, man-to-man defense and 1 high shell safety look more than anyone in the NFL, the Denver Broncos ran. Now, obviously, some of it they ran that way because their personnel is so perfect for that. Jim Leonard is not going to ask the Buffalo Bills to be the Denver Broncos on defense. If he is, I don't know if that's, I guess, the greatest signing anymore. I don't know if I'd be as happy as I am right now. But I think what you're getting at, though, with this here is that, and you just said it, yes. So I don't know that he's going to come over here because I think that Julio Rodriguez is going to be one of the biggest assets that the Bills try to go after in the draft. Now, this kid Chanel that you're talking about, I think is more of an inside guy, isn't he? Let me pull this up because I don't want to, Dexy, I don't want to misspeak here and act as if I know everything about Leo here, because I think he's an inside backer. But I want to make sure, and if I'm wrong, please, and this is maybe a name that we look up, but I think that, like I was talking about, I think that Rodriguez is a name that they're going to go after for with everything that they have, because linebackers are so crucial in a Jim Leonard defense. Now, let me get down to this. Okay. I think I just saw, yes. If you don't know who was, okay. Right. Yes. That's what I thought that you were getting at when you said Chanel or Chenel. I'm not totally familiar with how you say it, but part of that top 5 ranked defense in almost every category at Wisconsin can lead into him fitting the scheme at least, right? I think that's what you're getting at. Because here's the deal. I don't think Matt Milano is going to stay. Don't get mad at me. I don't think he's going to stay around. I don't think that he's the type of linebacker that is necessary for what Jim Leonard wants to do. I also don't think Shaq Thompson is going to stay around because I think he's a Sean McDermott signing and he's in a Sean McDermott style linebacker. I think Dorian Williams is actually better suited for Jim Leonard's 3-4 defense than those other 2 guys are. And that's saying something because he did not have the better of all the seasons. Okay? He did. Shaq Thompson obviously did what he did, coming in, run stuff, and Matt Milano had a decent season, but nothing great. And he's injury prone. Obviously, we spoke about that multiple times throughout the year. He's definitely injury prone. But let me I think he plays the same role. I think he plays the same role as Buffalo Joe. Oh, it's Buffalo. I'm not sure what you mean there, Dexy. Help me out there. I'm going to pull up these names in the linebacker draft class, and then I want Dexy to tell me what he thinks, or if I'm right or wrong with inside or more of a like Will style outside guy that might even work some as an edge or in coverage linebacker. Same line. Oh, Joe Andreessen. Yeah. Okay, I understand you. Yeah, and you know what? Joe Andreessen actually one of the better special teams guys. You know, when you get into more coverage linebacker, speedy guys can cover ground and influence the pass game. They're also good in special teams often. I see what you're saying, though. Yes, I get you. Okay. Again, I'm not overly familiar with him, but maybe. And if there's ties, there's ties. I mean, that says a lot because just like we were talking about with Brady and Carmichael, they don't go away, right? Relationships just don't go away, especially if they were good and strong at that whenever they were together. They still maintain in contact. They still are, friend, whatever, professional, doesn't matter what level, but it doesn't just vanish. So great point there. And it could be. And that's why probably for the same reason that I think that they were going to attack linebacker early in the draft. It's probably where you're coming from here. And if he's a free agent, well, let's pull him up. I'm going to pull him up. You know what? Great point. Let's just do this together and take a look at what his expected market value is then if he's going to be a free agent, because that's another question mark. Like, we don't have money, All right, so he signed his 4-year deal, yes. Let's put this up here for the world to see. Signed his 4-year rookie deal in 2022. So he's done with that, absolutely. More of an outside guy. Okay, so yeah, that's what we were talking about with Andreessen. And quite honestly, Dorian Williams, like we were speaking about, not really the Shaq Thompson type, like we were talking about. You need a little bit more of coverage, but you also need some guy that's going to come hard downhill. Because if you only got 3 linemen, those linebackers also need to play a big role in the run game, as do your safeties, which I think that's where Cole Bishop actually is going to flourish with Jim Leonhard. Flourish. I think Cole Bishop is an all-pro next year. I don't know if that's really a hot take or not, but that's my opinion on the match. I'm going to share this with everybody. Great point by Dexy. I love the connections when we can find one that makes sense. Here is Leo's market value. This is Sport Track, the greatest website basically of all time when it comes to contracts and such. This is what they're saying his market value is. A 3-year contract for roughly $14 million. Free agent in 2026. Average salary, $1.2 million. That's basically what he had made on his rookie deal. And if we come down to, let's get out of the market value, contract details. Yep, there it is. That's the end of his contract, unrestricted, free agent 2026. I don't know. I don't know too much about him. Dexy, is Kansas City tied to this gentleman, though? Are they going to let him go, or are they going to pay him? Because keep in mind, they're going to be wanting to come back with vengeance. Okay, Patrick Mahomes is probably pretty pissed the freak off right now, as is Andy Reid and that entire staff and roster. So I guess what I'm saying is, will they let him leave? Yeah, I don't know. But you're right, meaning I agree with you. I'm not saying you're right because I could be wrong. We could both be wrong. But I agree with you that is the type of linebacker that Jim Leonhard wants and or needs. Hence the reason that Matt Milano, unfortunately, is not it, nor is Shaq Thompson in the Buffalo front. And I hope can get someone to draft. If we get someone along the lines of Chanel here, okay, that's a big part of it. But it needs to continue, and I don't think we can stop with one guy. That's kind of my opinion. Let's try to get back into some of these. Buffalo Jandreessen, yes, okay. Biggest concern is the front seven and what the Bills do this offseason. Most likely they'll take at least 2 offseasons to fill. See, here's what I'm talking about. Filling in the players Leonard's needs for defense he wants to run. This is kind of where my head went. Spin. Appreciate Spin. We have an abundance of what we just put an enormous amount of draft stock into last year. So you hired Deion Walker, who I hope and I think can actually fill in as that one tech, that nose tackle. I think Deion Walker can do that. I was severely impressed with Deion Walker this year. Fantastic. And he was a 4th-round draft pick. So the value on him is one of the better drafts. I mean, it's hard to match that. Then we went TJ Sanders. And he was mediocre. I don't think he's a 1-tech, and he's certainly not a 5 guy, right? He's not an outer edge run stopper. Not him, because they actually tried him in that role this year due to injuries, and he did not produce at any type of level to where he should receive much playing time whatsoever. So I don't think TJ Sanders is that guy. You have Landon Jackson, who we really don't know, right? Don't know. Played, 10, 12 snaps, and he got hurt, and the season was over. And up until that point, he was barely even active. His body armor is fantastic, by the way. Zero sugar, for all of you that are wondering. It's a really good drink, first time I ever had it. I don't think that Joey Bosa will be here anymore. And I worry a little bit about where we go, because Greg Russo, although he had a very good season, he's one of the better run-stopping edge rushers, in the NFL. He's graded one of the best run defensive ends. So he'll be just fine. My key component to this, as it was when he was healthy, and I don't know when we'll get him back. It's not going to be week 1. Michael Hoyt, ladies and gentlemen. Michael Hoyt came from a 3-4 in Los Angeles with the Rams. Michael Hoyt can play an outside backer / defensive end role, which is kind of what Leonhard needs out of these guys. If he comes back healthy and he is ready to rock anywhere in the first third of the season, hopefully the first quarter of the season, I think that then you can actually open up a little bit more maybe in your draft stock. Maybe you can get a Leo Chanel like this, and if you can get him for $4 million, if this guy puts up, I got to look into this dude a little bit more myself. I'm not saying that Dexy's wrong, but I just don't know too much about him myself. But yeah, Wisconsin drafted in 2002, so Wisconsin in 01. Then that might make sense to get that outside backer / edge kind of hybrid, if you will, which I think flourishes in Jim Leonard's system, as long as they can stuff the run, because you need to do both with Jim Leonard, with only having 3 backers. But I like this. I like this talk. I'll never, ever claim to say that I know everybody in the NFL and that I know it all, because I don't. I don't have enough time to know it all. Trek reviewer. Trek, how are you? I wonder if this change to a 3-4 will mean that the Bills will try to trade Ed Oliver because he is not big enough to play nose tackle in a 3-4 defense. Horrible to think about, Trek, but quite frankly, I think you're correct. I don't know that Ed Oliver is suited for this defense. Unless he and staff decide to more tailor to the roster versus make the roster to the defense. And that is yet to be seen by Jim Leonard and the Buffalo Bills. Ed Oliver's not a one-tech. He's not. And he's also not just a straight-up defensive edge either. He's neither. And I wonder if he's going to be used for trade bait. I wonder if he's going to be used way back to whoever said, is Justin Jefferson a possibility? Just throwing it out there. Eddie Oliver is an all-pro. Eddie Oliver is an absolute beast and stud. Eddie Oliver needs to be on a 4-man front. Because, no, he's not a nose tackle. And, no, he's not an edge rusher. He's a defensive tackle that plays in the 2-3 area that can rush the passer. But he's not going to take up 2 or 3 blocks with no momentum, hold the line of scrimmage, and allow gap penetration by the backers. That's just not him. He doesn't weigh enough, if I'm being honest. He doesn't take up as much surface space as a Deion Walker, who did phenomenally this year. That's such a great point. This season will be for the defense to just do enough to get by another, or anything better would be a bonus. Hey, listen, I hope it's a little bit more than just enough, but I will say that I don't see the offense changing much. I don't think we're going to score 22 points a game all of a sudden. Still going to score 27 to 30 points a game. The offense is not going to be that different. So, yes, if the defense can even become average, right? If we can just become average, then we actually might not be having this talk. If the defense was average this year, we'd probably be going to the Super Bowl. I mean, I'm just going to call it what it is. If the defense was average, we might go to the Super Bowl. Now, I'm not blaming the defense because, quite honestly, if we didn't turn the ball over like we did, then we'd also be going to the Super Bowl. I mean, there's multiple things to point at. But, yes, if the defense is just simply average, we don't need the defense to be the top 5. You don't need them. It'd be great, but you don't need it. So, yes, simply be average, please. Just be average. We'll be okay. 9999 DX is 99.99. Guys, there is no such thing as a masterclass from any Bills coach. A new owner is needed. Well, those are 2 different people, but Bills have done nothing in 60 years of the Super Bowl era. It all needs to be torn down, starting with the owner. Well, you can't 99.99. I mean, I get you, but you can't just start over with a new owner. Unfortunately, that's not how it works. He is the man in the top, unless the NFL, all the other 31 owners, decide to say, you're no longer, well, then he's going to be there. And you can't do anything about it, nor can I, or anybody. He owns the thing. But there's absolutely a possibility there is such thing as a masterclass from a Bills coach. Come on. Joe Brady put on a masterclass last year with the Bills offense. And I have no problem saying it. And I would have no problem arguing that with you either. Nicely, of course. But Joe Brady literally, as a coach of the Bills, put on a masterclass last year with that offense. Terrell Bernard should also do really well because in college at Baylor he played a 3-4. Okay, awesome. I'm with you there. And that's the name that we forgot that I left out with the linebacking crew because he was hurt and he didn't play, and I honestly forgot him. However, that's been a point of conversation here in the last, 40 hours. And you're absolutely right. This is what Terrell Bernard is suited for. Terrell Bernard is not a fill a gap downhill run stuffer. No. He can play the hybrid outside backer edge blitz if he's blitzing. He's a good getting after the quarterback and with a blitz. He's quick, he's fast. He's more of a coverage guy. This is why everyone had such a hard time with him, because with the defense that McDermott runs and him, losing a step or two in the missed tackles, he wasn't filling gaps naturally in the run game, and he was missing tackles, and it led to be quite disastrous. But I totally agree with you, Dexy. He fits the 3-4 scheme as good as any linebacker on the team. Yes, kind of the same thing. Trek reviewer that we were just hitting. I'm with you there. Spin Denver was like the 21st in the league in playing nickel. Oh, that's what I mean. Exactly what I'm saying. They don't. They play a 3-4, and those 4 are a mixture between those hybrid outside backer / the end-ish personnel, and that only leaves 4 extra people, right? Two wideouts. I'm sorry, 2 wideouts. 2 corners and 1 high shell safety, and then Hufanga, who just plays everywhere. That's what I would really love. I put out a tweet or a TikTok or something this morning. I would love to go spend the money on Talanoa Hufanga, and I don't know where he's at. I'm actually going to look him up right now. Let's look this up. Come on, give me something. Contract. All right, let's look. Let's look, people. All right, Talanoa Hufanga. Everybody knows whose hat it is, right? All right, he's more like a strong safety, but he played obviously with Jim Leonard, and he is just an absolute freak. I love this guy. So here we go. He's in the middle of a 3-year contract worth $39 million. Okay, $13 million average salary. Keep in mind when we're looking at this thing. Can you guys see this? I think you can. Yeah. When we're looking at this, this is basically this number here is basically the only number that really matters in terms of how much. Wow. Let me get this advertisement out of the way. This website is the best, but there's 19 million ads like every 2 inches. Kind of makes it hard to. Actually, let me do this. Sorry, can you still see that? I hope you can. Let me know if you can't. Yeah, you can. All right. What was I saying? Keep in mind that the base salary is basically all that player is worth for that season. So if he were to get traded, I'm saying, well, he's not going to get let go. But if he were to get traded, all that, as far as the current contract suggests, is that whoever receives him would owe him $11 million if it started prior preseason. And then 2027, it's $12 million. It's $1.2 million because all this signing proration and bonus, roster bonuses, prorations, all that other stuff is basically paid like upfront and not part of his annual salary. So the teams are basically paying him that in the beginning. Therefore, they're structuring this out so their salary caps are not hit as bad in the subsequent years. Good for the team, good for the player if he wants money up front. Certainly good for whoever now the Broncos, they'd be silly to do this, but the Broncos are almost in like disarray right now, right? Am I wrong? I don't know what the hell's going on there. Everybody's leaving. So I don't know. Maybe Jim Leonard can talk his ass into coming to Buffalo. Pay that man $11 million tomorrow. And here's Ed Oliver. You don't have Jim Leonard anymore, so you might not be running the 3-4 anymore. Here's Ed Oliver and like a third if you need him. Come on, Talanoa Hufanga. I will be the first person, mark it down, I will be the first person to, actually somebody clip this. If Talanoa Hufanga ends up being a Buffalo Bill, I'm going to buy 2 Hufanga jerseys. One I'm putting on immediately, Buffalo Bills jerseys. And the other one I will give away to one of you people. Somehow we'll do it. Buddy of mine, Dan Mitchell, does that. I'll do it. Hufanga gets to the Buffalo Bills. I'm buying a Buffalo Bills jersey, Hufanga, and I'm giving it away to one of you fantastic people that are subscribed to this channel and pay attention and hang with us. So he's not worth all that much. Consider me in on him immediately. Good info on the salary cap stuff. This is key for the next couple of years. Bills are in trouble with the cap. Yes, they are currently, but the talk of the town is that the salary cap for 2026, the NFL will actually move up to between 301, I think, and 308 million, I think is the jump. So that will add, I think, about, I want to say 30 million. Does that make sense? 2025 salary cap was 279.2, and if it goes up to 301, that's 22 million. If it goes to 308, it's 20, whatever, 6 million. So yeah, about 20, let's call it 25 million on average, depending on where it ends up, which helps. Obviously, it helps. We're going to have to do restructuring, and we're going to have to get rid of some people. The wide receiver core, everyone says that we're going to get into wide receivers. We can talk about that if you would like. KC is in cap trouble. I believe Kansas City has the worst cap trouble in the NFL. Chiefs are in way worse cap trouble. Yes, Dexy, correct. I think they're literally dead last when it comes to available room. I mean, currently, I think the Bills are 11 million behind. They're in the negative, in the red. Chiefs are. Bills cap is fine. Should be. They'll figure something out. Bean is good at that. I will give him that. Chiefs are minus 40-something million. Right. 99. True. KC is worse off because Mahomes is now considered overpaid, coming off a down year and injury. Well, I mean, yeah, is Patrick Mahomes ever going to be overpaid for what he did to Kansas City? I don't think so. But, yeah, they're way behind either way. They can easily get up to around 60 million in cap space that they want, and in 2 years they will be at 120. Well, I mean, that's true, but don't we want them to go get like, I forget who it was earlier said, Justin Jefferson? Don't we want somebody to go, or Jalen Waddle, or if we want to sign someone like Hufanga? Like, I don't need 120 million cap space. I'm not worried about 2-3 years down the road. I'm not worried about when Josh is 34, 35. I'm worried about now. And even if we have zero cap space when the season starts, if we have the personnel to win a Super Bowl, that's all that matters. Because like we said earlier, the only thing that matters, what? Comment in here right now, Super Bowl. That's all that matters. Nothing else. But Patriots more than 30 million under cap and have extra draft picks, and they are losing no key free agents plus variable. Well, I totally get that. Listen, I'm not happy about it. I got to admit, I'm not thrilled about the fact that the Patriots are in a fantastic spot and don't show any signs of going anywhere south of where they are. But the Bills are not. It's not like the Bills are rebuilding here, people, right? The Bills have legitimate roster, and they have Josh Allen. A couple key tweaks and situational football, and we're talking a different tune here. That's what we need. Oh no, not it's been 48. Not sure what that is. At best, Bills will compete for a wild card spot, but need to stay ahead of Miami, KC, and Baltimore. Not sure they will. I'm not confident that the Bills will not be fighting for a division. Not at all. I'm actually confident they will, depending on the offseason. But so far, I'm happy about it. Walker, I don't know if he should be a nose tackle or runs down or rundowns, but passing downs, I'm fine with it. Hey, listen, what I saw with film, and I only got the first, I think 12 weeks of the year that I watched film on him, and I slightly tapered off. I saw him getting better and better almost every single week at leverage and not allowing the offense, the line of scrimmage to move anywhere but in our favor. He seemed to have understood also how to slide with the zone scheme blocking and still fill his lane, right? Do his, what they say, 111. I have a lot of faith that he will continue to be better every year. Quite honestly, better every game. And I think he has what it takes. Now, do I love him in passing downs too? Absolutely, especially what he showed there to the end, swatting the balls down. He even had an interception. I mean, the man's enormous. I think he's 6'8", I believe. So, yes, he's certainly beneficial there. But I wouldn't snub him in the run game, truthfully. Not just yet. We'll see. Not just yet. I think he's better suited than Oliver. Dexy, what do you think about that? That's like bad to say, right? In Bill's world, like I love Ed Oliver. I just don't know if he fits this plan. Are you ready for a New England win? Tom Brady, 7 rings. What's up, brother? Good to see you, man. Oh boy. No, I'm not. Go Seahawks. Okay. Go Seattle, baby. When will be back from training camp? No. Spin. Oh man, I think that seems a little too soon. No, I think it's about I want to say it's a year, if I'm being honest. Well, maybe not. We got to look that up. We got to go to Thigh Doctor on X, see what he says about him. I thought he was like week 6 is the last that I thought I heard. You just passed 180. Oh, nice. At least it shows on my end. Yeah, well, that's cool. Yeah, see, I'm so bad that I don't even know how to find that thing that says like, live count or whatever, subscribers. I don't know. Thank you, everybody that's in here. Anybody in here that's not subscribed? I don't know why not. Subscribe to that thing right away and hit the notification bell to let you know every time we're getting on here, a new video. A lot of shorts. I do those in the mornings. Honestly, I do them on my commute a lot. You get into those. Now him being back to 100% is not, well, yeah, right. Well, that man at 80% is 70% is probably just as good as anybody. I mean, he didn't even come off the damn field. He didn't even leave the thing. He needs to stay with his boys. Kind of like Terrell Shavers tearing his ACL and playing the whole damn second half. These guys are tough. If May's injured, Seattle will win. Oh, yeah. Wow. You know what? We got to look into that like right now together. I haven't been paying much attention because I've just been so locked in to the coaching staff. I don't want to say fiasco, but happenings. We got to get into that. Is he okay? Anybody know? Hit me. I mean, I'm sure he's going to play, but what's up with him? I heard a shoulder and he was sick, but then Vrabel didn't really want to answer the question. It was really weird, right? He got weird with the reporter that was like, "Wait, so did he not play? Is it just because he's sick, or is it because of his shoulder?" And what do you mean by limited? He's like, "Well, if he's not full, that means he's limiting." He's kind of being sarcastic, doing his best Belichick impersonation is what it looked like to me. Leonard does not strictly play 3 or 4. Yes, understood. But the majority is, and what he has said, and actually he's been quoted, is he wants to have a small amount of plays with a maximum amount of variation, maximum amount of adjustments. So yes, he can hybrid guys around, but the personnel will mainly be the same is what I'm getting at with his 3-4. Like I said earlier, like somebody like a Hoyt or a Dorian Williams-esque or a Terrell Bernard, like could, even though he's a linebacker, could line up on the edge, could line up on a 2-point, outside that tackle and make it appear to be a four-man, line, an even man line. But in reality, it's personnel based, a 3-4. Just like on offense, when you're talking about a 12 personnel, well, you have one running back on the field and 2 tight ends. 2 tight ends don't necessarily have to be on the line of scrimmage. You know what I mean? It's just your personnel setup. Oliver played nose tackle in 3 and 4 in college, but not against NFL offensive linemen. Ed Oliver's a great player. Why would you trade him other than to reduce a cap hit? Well, I don't want to trade him, but like I was explaining, it's a possibility that he does not fit the way that Jim Leonard runs his defense. And with Jim Leonard's defense being the 3-4, I don't think that you really need a nose tackle, a one tech, a really big body that's just going to sit like a Milton Williams, just going to be a staple in the middle of the line of scrimmage. Basically stop all center A-ish gap runs or up middle runs, whether it be a duo or a zone concept, and just not allow anything to get within arm's reach of him and just shut it down. That's not Ed Oliver. Ed Oliver is a chuck yoke up a guard or tackle center, get him off of his ass and attack the quarterback. That's what Ed Oliver does best. Now, obviously, everyone loves to have quarterback pressures from the inside as well as the outside. But with a 3-4, technically you only got 3 linemen, so you really need to have that space eaten up, a wide space getting eaten up by that middle guy. And it's tough. That's tough to do. Ed Oliver, that's just not his strongest suit. Obviously, Ed Oliver is better at that than a lot of linemen. I'm just saying that's not necessarily the type of guy. That's all. Oh, yes. Yes. Saw him from the Shrine or the Senior Bowl, right? One of the two. I forget which one. Big boy. Big boy. And yes, not graded high enough to where he's going to be taken in the top 2. Yeah, that's a possibility. It's a possibility. It depends on what they want to do. So if they go out and they're able to sign your guy out of Kansas City, right? If they're able to sign someone like Leo Chanel, then they might not go with their first or second round pick for a linebacker like I originally thought they might. If they think they have that kind of sealed up, if they like Bernard, Dorian Williams, Leo Chanel, now you can kind of maybe wide receiver or maybe one other edge guy or maybe a free safety type. Because Cole Bishop, in my mind, he's better suited kind of in the box in run support than he is just flying around covering people and ball hawking. I'm not saying he's bad at that. I just think that if I were to pick one or the other for Cole Bishop, it's downhill, hitting the run game. Or coming down on intermediate, short pattern, crossing mesh options and just trying to blow people up. That's my opinion. So I'd like a ball hawking free safety playing center field, especially if Jim Leonard is going to continue to play a one high shell. It's not really a shell, but a one high look with safeties, which he did, again, more than anybody in the NFL. But this is Xavier Harris. That's a big boy no matter who the hell you're talking about. That's tough to move that man around. So like we were just explaining, the classic nose tackle, that could fill a gap. Absolutely. Traded to Ed Oliver, 2026 second, 2027 third, Justin Jefferson. Well, that's kind of what I'm saying. If they're going to want to make a splash, and I don't know where Minnesota's going to go. I don't know if they're even going to want to get rid of him at all. But Jefferson obviously has said multiple things that are making people think he's certainly not going to be happy there forever. The man probably wants to win some football games, which doesn't look like that's going to happen anytime soon with McCarthy under center. Although great head coach, just horrible quarterback in my opinion. I mean, I understand he gets the eye black and gets all crazy, but like, okay, win football games, right? Win football games. Hey, man, just fire the owner, man. I think that was in response to the other one. Yeah, right. Exactly. Sorry. All right, what do you want me to do? I think Vikings would want multiple firsts for Oliver if they trade Jefferson because they would be rebuilding. Oliver would be a move for them if they a fair point. Absolutely fair point. And that's kind of what I was thinking when I just said depends on what the Vikings want to do. It's not like about Oliver's 24. So I understand what you mean. I can't blame Vancouver for anything that happened in 2015. That's true. I agree the new one started in 2015. It looks like Bills were getting better, but now the division is over and his press conference is terrible. Talk about it. Yes, he didn't do well. I was not happy. I grade them like a D- in that press conference. I totally agree. I think Joe Brady saved a lot of people, and he did a very good job of bringing the momentum back to Buffalo. And for that, I am happy, and I'm on a trajectory that leads to happy times. Like it or not, I don't know. That's just where my head is, and I'm not making that up either. Like, I really am quite confident. I would like to see Buffalo find a way to get both LBs, Bobby, Okereke, and the Giants. Yes, okay. So I guess my question to you guys are, if you think we can go out to the market, both Trek reviewer and Dexy, right? If you think we can go out in the market and get the linebackers that we need, where does your head go for the draft? Because my thought was linebackers will be the initial desire from the draft in the first 2 to 3 rounds. So what are your thoughts if we can go out and get one of these guys or Chanel? Where do you think the draft takes? You know, what takes precedence in the draft? Well, hopped in again to 30 people. Oh, cool. Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's a bunch of people on X too. So we're good news, Chris, right? You're like one of the, if not the first dude that's in here. What are they? OG, right? Yeah, a few of you guys. I appreciate everybody, but yeah, a few of the names pop up, and we're like, even my son's like, oh, it's Chris Henry. Trade Josh Allen to the Raiders for #1 pick and draft Mendoza. Problem solved? Rookie contract and tons of cap space to pick up Waddle. So you'd rather Mendoza and Waddle than Josh Allen and Keon, I guess is what you're saying? Not me. Yeah, you'd free up, obviously, a ton of money. You would have to get more than a #1 pick, first of all. Even if you were going to do that, you're not going to get 1 first overall pick. Josh Allen would warrant 4 first rounders and 4 second rounders, probably. I mean, that might be a little out there, but he warrants a lot. Someone towards Achilles and came back in the playoffs with the same season. Who it was? Really? When did he tear the Achilles? Like, what? Like, I don't know, first minute of training camp? Appreciate you. $99.99. Appreciate it, man. Think good mid-round pick for the Bills is Xavier Harris from Ole Miss. He has the size of Deion Walker and is better. Yeah. Yeah, exactly what Dex said, right? I think Dexy said the same thing. Same guy. I think it was Dexy that said it. Could be a good combo. Yeah, for sure. Seattle's going to blow out the Pats regardless of May is 100% spins. I'm not just saying this because I'm not a huge Patriots fan, because I'm not, obviously. But I just don't see the Patriots beating the Seattle Seahawks. Really. I don't know how the line from Vegas 4.5. I think that's a trap. I actually think it's a trap, like overthinking, like, I mean, I don't know if they do this, but it seems to me as if, like, I would have pegged it literally at, like, at least 2 possessions, like 7.5, if I'm being honest. Maybe 8. And I told myself, if it's anything under 10, I'm taking it. So I'm betting on the Seahawks. 100% I am. Again, I could lose, but I just don't see that team beating the other team at all. Mark Sullivan. What's up, Mark? How are you, man? Yeah, Pats won't win. I agree. And to let you know, I wanted the Bills to take Deion Walker in the first round last draft. Whoa, okay. So you must have been thrilled then to get him when they did. Bills Year. What's up, Bills Year? I don't think you must be new, Bills Year. I don't believe that I recognize that name or your profile picture. How are you, man? Will we play more man-to-man with the new defense? Well, one would say that we absolutely will, because the Broncos under Jim Leonard, I don't want to say he wasn't calling the plays, but under his pass game coordinator status, ran more man-to-man defense than anybody in the NFL. Now, obviously, we were talking about that. Is it just because of the fantastic personnel that Denver has? Maybe. It's got a lot to do with it. You got Pat Surtain. Yes, you have Hufanga. You got Riley Moss on the other side. Committed a lot of penalties, but still pretty decent cover guy. And you had, let's call it what it is, the best pass rush in the NFL. Right? So if you have that, you have pretty good, even pretty good man coverage on the backside, and you get after the quarterback more than anybody. That's less time that the defensive backfield has to cover their man. And then you have all-pro, the best in the defensive player of the year last year in Pat Surtain, PS2. It's pretty easy to run man. Can you run as much with the current Bills roster? I don't believe you can. However, I'm a believer in Maxwell Harrison after seeing what he did in his first year, barring that he's healthy. I'm a believer in Christian Benford on the other side, CB1. I'm not so much a believer in Taron Johnson, but again, where does Taron Johnson fit in? Because they don't run a lot of nickel. Jim Leonard does not run a lot of nickel or slot corner, however you want to call it. So I don't know where Taron Johnson fits this mold. Don't know. Cole Bishop's not necessarily a man guy, right? Like we said, he's more of a kind of a in the box type safety. So we'll see. Trey White. I hope we are able to keep Trey White because he played out of his damn mind compared to what everybody thought he was going to do. And compared to what he did in the first 5 weeks, he played ludicrous. He's still got some football left. So I don't know. But to answer your question, Bills, I would have to say yes, more than they did this year and in the last few. How much more? Tough to say. I think it's a mixture between what will the roster look like come week 1, and what does Jim Leonard want to do with the roster that they have come week 1? Kind of a question mark, but definitely more than what they have. Could you imagine both Deion Walker and Xavier has a goal line D that brings up memories of Pat Williams, Ted Washington? Great point. And how about the tush push in 4th and 6 inches? Makes that a lot easier. It's not easy, but it makes it easier. We need a Max Crosby tight edge rusher feared every play like Bruce was. Max Crosby and Myles Garrett and Micah Parsons and Aiden Hutchinson make any team that they're ever on that much better. So I totally agree. Jim Leonard gets pressure on the quarterback, in multiple ways. Disguises schemes, sends pressure without showing it, sends pressure on one side of the line with backing up a defensive end often. Almost like the delayed coverage. Stepping down, popping back. Forget the actual terminology for that. I know exactly what I'm thinking, but I don't know. Forget the terminology of it. Pressure on the quarterback is immense. It's huge, especially if you're playing man defense like we were just talking about with Bill's question. Any edge rusher that can do that, sign me up. Unfortunately, though, what I can guarantee is we can't get Max Crosby. And Justin Jefferson, right? And Jalen Waddle. And then pull in, 3 first-round draft picks. You gotta kind of piece in the puzzle what's more important between money and the person. If you go all in like that, well, then you're not going to get your linebackers, in my opinion. At least your absolute stud linebackers. Now, if you go all in like that, well, maybe you can get some good linebackers. But if you go all in with an edge rusher, you're not going to get a all-pro wide receiver 1. Definitely can't do both. There's no way. Even with the salary cap increase, there's no way you get a Crosby and a Jefferson-esque or even a Waddle-esque who might be like a tier 2 wide receiver 1 compared to, the Chases and Jeffersons of the world. You might be able to get my guy, how do I forget this? Excuse me a moment. Alec Pierce, which I like. I like a lot of Alec Pierce, if I'm being honest with you, from Indianapolis. He's also a free agent. We're talking about wide receivers. But his market value is showing $20 million a year because of the season that he just had. I like him a lot, though. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm not just saying this because I love him. I do. I've made that abundantly clear for the 3 months that we've been doing this. Both because of studying him and the team and watching his film, and because I think he's underused, meaning not put in the positions that he should have been thus far in his career. I think Keon Coleman is going to have a good season coming up. If you didn't notice, I will reiterate for you that Joe Brady said, me becoming the head coach of the Buffalo Bills is the best thing that could have happened for Keon Coleman's football career. Keon Coleman will be a Buffalo Bill. I know there was a million question marks over Keon's head for the last couple of months, maybe. Really? Yeah, a couple of months at this point. Well, he came out and was confident enough telling the public and telling the world, Joe Brady, that Keon Coleman is not going to go anywhere, and that it's the best thing to happen to him that I just got this role. I'm saying if they get an outside guy and Keon Coleman shades a little bit into the slot, I see no reason why Keon Coleman cannot be the second coming of, we said in the beginning, anybody? I'm going to leave it. I'm going to give you a few minutes. See if you can remember. We said in the beginning of the show, think about what we talked about. If you were still here, if you are, I love all of you anyways. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Subscribe if you haven't. I love everybody in here. Make this a lot of fun and easy to do. Thank you. If you were here in the beginning, we brought up the New Orleans Saints, right? And Pete Carmichael and his time there, Drew Brees and the weapons that Drew Brees has. One of those weapons was, I don't know if anybody can remember. No, almost no bones about it. Almost. Who's the other guy? Quiet guy. Nobody knew about him. Nope. Not Olave. I'm talking about Drew Brees days. Not Olave. We're talking about it. We got Cooks. We did talk about him, but nope. Almost. Nobody. It's like he vanished. He was one of the best wide receivers in football, in my opinion. Thank you, Michael Thomas. Big body dude, pretty strong hands. And that's Keon Coleman. Michael Thomas made a living off of different depth slants. Literally type into YouTube. Of course, don't leave here. So open up a different window or do this later. Type into YouTube Michael Thomas highlights, Michael Thomas career highlights, and see how many of those highlights are literally 2, 5, 8-yard slants. Some yard after the catch, of course, if he breaks the first tackle or not. 1st and 10, he gets 12. 2nd and 8, he gets 9. 2nd and 12, he gets 8. Like, talk about staying ahead of the chains with that boy, with a passing attack that was obviously phenomenal, but Josh Allen can throw a slant. If he works with one of these studs during the offseason, Stevie Johnson, by the way, one of the best route runners of all time from any team. If he can get some work with him, Michael Trey, I see what you just said. Wasn't even here to be an educated guess. Fantastic guess. We were talking about. And I wish that I wouldn't get copyright. I would screen share some highlights. I actually did. I went back and I watched. I know it was just highlights. I got to watch them all 22 on him. But we're talking highlight films that are consisting of slants. I mean, if that's a highlight, then it's probably a bulk of the good, success that Michael Thomas had. That's what I see Keon Coleman doing. That is exactly what I see Keon Coleman doing, and I think that that's what Keon Coleman will turn into this year with those boys at the helm. I really do. Yes, okay. Laugh aloud. Trade Josh sounds like $90 million dead cap. Not sure how much. Yeah, right. Yeah, I didn't even think about it. You're right. You're right. Early in the season. Rodgers? Mark, are you talking about? I'm not sure who. Oh, Achilles? Oh, was that week 1 against the Bills? Right? When he went to the Jets? Well, he didn't come back for the playoffs because that team was not in the playoffs. Guy tore Achilles early in the season. I think it was a Rams team, a running back. How long ago was this? Cam Akers. So you're not talking like Todd Gurley, right? Remember Todd Gurley, boys and girls? Whoa. Short career, too short. What a beast was Todd Gurley. Oh, my gosh. I remember he was just like number 1 overall pick in fantasy for like 5 years in a row. And then it was 4 years maybe, and then it was done. See ya. Oh, defensive back. I don't really know. Good evening. No bones about it. How are you? Good evening. Hope all is well with you, man. Or ma'am. I'm not sure. Shout out to your graphic designer. That Cold Front logo is lit. Okay, so let's talk about that. 99.99. What are you talking about? This little thing square here, or different answers, but you're going to be surprised about both, maybe. Cam Akers tore Achilles in July and was back in the wild card round for the Rams. Okay. August, September, October, November, December, January. Maybe the end of December. So 6 months? Wow. Might be a reach, but also let's not forget Myles Garrett doesn't seem happy with his situation in Cleveland. That is true. Who would? Who the heck would? That is a great point. Hold on one second. He's also, $1 trillion. But now that he got his record, yeah, why else stay? Right? Why else stay? Well, all that nonsense. First of all, I actually lost some respect for the guy when he went on this, tour of selling himself and I want to play for a winning football team and I want to win games and win a Super Bowl and go to the playoffs and all this. Never mind. I'll take the money. Like, I don't begrudge anybody from taking the money. I just want you to be honest with me and everybody else. And if you want the money, just say, I'm going to go with whoever pays me the most. I'd have more respect if he said that in the beginning and then did it and went wherever the money went. I want to win. It's not about the money as much as it is getting a Super Bowl to wrap up my – Stop. Just be honest. Just be honest. You want the money? Great. I'm not going to begrudge you for that. That seed spin, that is more along the lines of what I was thinking. 9 to 12 months. Okay, let's see it, Dexy. My idea for the defensive line is need edge. Okay. Ed Oliver, Xavier Harris, yep. Deion Walker, Greg Russo, TJ Sanders is Ed's backup. Okay. Dwayne Carter. Okay. Deion as Harris' backup. Okay. Are you confident that Ed Oliver – I'm trying to think about this here. All right, so your starting line would be Eddie, Xavier Harris, and Greg Russo, right? Okay. At that point, I think if that is the case, I think we absolutely need one more stud linebacker. And not a Bernard type. I think at that point we need one more linebacker that can really hit the run and some of the pass game. Because I just worry about Ed Oliver taking up a lot of space. That's my problem. So hold on one second. Sorry, boys and girls. I thought that I typed something and I didn't earlier. That's what I think that we would need in order to look at that right there. So I think that guy, I think I was talking about earlier, I think I might have said Julio, actually. Thinking of the Seattle Mariner, is Jacob Rodriguez, and I think we can get him relatively, where we sit. Jacob Rodriguez from Texas Tech. What do you think about him, Dexy? But if we can get Xavier Harris, yeah, I mean, I'm down with that. I'm very good with that, and I actually like Dwayne Carter in this role as well. He's at 187. Oh, wow. So what does that mean? What did we go up like 15 or something tonight? Thanks everyone that's joining. Let's get cold front to 200 soon. Yeah, Ethan, thank you, brother. Yeah, let's do that. Why not? Why are we not at 200? Everybody that's in here, come on, subscribe immediately. You have to. It's a must. If you don't, problems, baby, problems. Yeah, wow. Henriksen. Okay, yeah, I'm in. Although he was kind of like 3-4 man. Janine, how are you, Janine? Yeah, you're right. That's kind of like where the conversation has been taken over. We didn't speak too much. We got into Carmack a little bit, but we're kind of really talking about the defensive side here because Jim Leonard is such a kind of like a polarizing figure and what a signing we all talking about, but it's potential personnel tornado because of the fact that we do not do things like this. We haven't ran an off or a defense like this in so long. Bruce. Yeah, bring him back, right? Yes, Demon Kiss, you're 100% correct. And Jim Leonard loves to put pressure on the quarterback. That's a huge part of his game. Huge part of his game. And obviously that's been not a positive of the Buffalo Bills defense in recency. So something needs to give there. But he can scheme it up if he's got the right style linebackers. And I fully agree or fully believe that he can do that. And that's kind of what we were talking about. What is the right personnel? And this is all a question mark, right? I think we go to the draft for linebackers. A couple people have said that we go to the trade block. I'm sorry, no one said anything about trade. Free agency for a couple of people that are just, the younger guys that are just becoming free agents after their rookie deals. This is going to be a lot of fun this offseason. Trying to determine, excuse me, what in the world we do. But I'm looking forward to it. And we're going to be together this entire offseason. We're going to keep doing this. We're going to go through everything. And I'm looking forward to it so much. Appreciate everybody in here. Keep coming back. Great conversations. I like it when it turns into a conversation. I like when there's a million comments so we can just get through everything. I will also start to do some pre-recorded stuff like I'll sit down that's not live and just kind of hit on, the happenings and what's been going on. Show you some screenshots, show you some stats, show you whatever. Shorter term, of course, not an hour and however long this has been. I don't know, 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. So you can come in, get your news, and then head out and then wait for the lives, and then we can chat. Hopefully that works for all of you. That's what my goal is. I think that kind of is my plan at least. Hopefully we can get that going here. From the Buffalo Bills as he does his murder case that he's in the middle of. Sorry, Rotund Calzone. I love you. I do. I love you. Don't know you, but I love you. This guy will never speak about Antonio Brown in a Bills uniform ever. Even if it becomes a Bill, I'm never going to say his name. How's that? No bones about it. That's kind of where my head went. Oh, my heavens, no. I mean, that guy literally got pulled out of, like, Dubai and brought back to the States because he's wanted for murder. I mean, I don't know how it's going to look. He's obviously not in jail yet, but I think he's on house arrest until, that trial starts or whatever. The guy's an absolute lunatic. He's about to be behind bars, so I don't think he's an upgrade to anything. Right. Alec Pierce always hurt. Okay, fair. He's a end zone magnet, though. Alec Pierce. An absolute end zone magnet. And because of that, he's going to get a bag. And good for him. Rumors that Max Crosby will go to the Patriots and probably the Broncos. They both have cap space. My gosh, imagine Nick Bonino and Max Crosby. That's the first thing that comes to my mind. The second thing is, please, Lord, don't go to New England. Why wouldn't Brady help Coleman as an OC? What does him being a head coach change anything? Great point. I do think that there's something to be said that Sean McDermott had a take on how aggressive and or what happened with Keon Coleman. I said that incorrectly. How aggressive the play calling is and was. And on top of that, I don't know that he was as much of a Keon fan as Brady was, and definitely Josh Allen. I think that actually McDermott was not a huge fan of Keon Coleman. And I think that statement, that interruption of Brandon Beane by Terry Pagula, talking about, what was it? What did he say? The drafting of Keon Coleman, the coaching staff really wanted Keon Coleman. It was the coaching staff. Which one? I don't know. I think he was just trying to take heat off of Brandon Beane, who just got promoted at that time. That's my take on that. No, we're back onto these. No, DeVry, Michael Thomas. Oh, Mike Evans. Sorry. Okay, so there's no way Coleman remained on the team after the owner rant against him. At first, my answer was, I don't think Keon Coleman will be here next year. There's no way, right? How do you hear your owner and your general manager talking this way? Even though the general manager did a pretty decent job of trying to cover up for the owner, in my opinion. I think he did a really good job of that, as a matter of fact. But after Brady's comments, I don't see Coleman going anywhere because he's just straight up said Keon Coleman will be a Buffalo Bill. Crazier things have happened, though, right? We still have to keep in mind what is going to happen with government. And fantastic point, Demon Kiss. And I was actually going to do a video about this potentially tomorrow, but we can talk briefly about it now. Both of those gentlemen are going to need to get paid this offseason. And because of all these other gaping holes and now trying to change up the personnel to match Jim Leonard's defensive scheme, it's going to be damn near impossible to keep both of them. I think it will be impossible. My gut tells me that Connor McGovern stays. My mind also says Connor McGovern, although I wouldn't be surprised if they go with left guard. But we'll see. What do you think, Demon Kiss? Because you're absolutely right. That needs to be addressed. They had overall the best offensive line in football. And they had the leading rusher. So that stinks that that's going to get broken up at all. I think continuity purposes that the center stays over the guard unless the guard is just light years ahead in skill set and production per that position, if that makes sense. That's why I think McGovern stays. Anquan Bolden also comes to mind. What? The Achilles? Or to bring him back to suit up and run some routes? Ken needs to be running strictly curls, slants, and digs using his big body between the ball and the defender. That back shoulder shit needs to stop. I don't disagree with you, No Bones. I think that it's absolutely positively the Michael Thomas in Keon Coleman. And as of yet, has anyone watched some Michael Thomas highlights? Did we do that yet? If you haven't, please come back to this video after it gets posted and throw your comments in there and let me know what you think. I mean, again, it's not 100% slants, but for a highlight reel, that's a lot of slants. And that body is eerily similar to Keon Coleman. I agree with you. The back shoulder thing didn't work much. And quite honestly, I'm going to be honest with you, and this might get me into some trouble with a lot of people. I don't think Josh Allen is that good of a fade ball. Certainly not in the end zone. I'm sorry, in the red zone. He doesn't have the Matthew Stafford touch to lay that thing to the back corner of the end zone. They've tried it about 25 times with Keon Coleman, and it just doesn't work. It's worked like 3. Now, the back shoulder comeback route, like the fake fade back shoulder to the front end of the end zone, works with Keon. Works. But I don't think Josh gets enough air under that. It doesn't become a 50-50 ball if you're throwing a piss missile. A 50-50 ball is literally just a lobbed up ball, like, here you go. You or him. Josh just seems to not get it up over the top enough for me. too much of that humpback or line drive instead of just the thing. Just toss it up there. Just toss it up there. That's what Keon could do with his body, but I don't know. That's we'll see, right? The Bills don't pay me for my insight. So maybe I'm just completely out of control. Your thumbnail. What about okay, so the little one here. You know what that was? 99.99. Hope you're still in here. What did you say that? 15 minutes. Oh my God, I'm 15 minutes behind on comments. All right, I gotta get going. AI, ChatGPT. Swear to God. I told you in the beginning, I am terrible at this computer stuff, and now I'm getting used to this software that I use to go live and make videos, which is actually pretty easy after you do it a few times. But that thing up there, AI. But since we are getting a little bit more comfortable, and we did have somebody approach us to start to work with them and their company really to do some Bills content stuff. I actually am in the process of hiring a graphic designer to kind of bring it all together. You know, the cold front, icy cold football Bill thing, and kind of piece it together. And even the one in the back, these videos, like I have no idea how to do any of that stuff. So I'm working with someone actually right now that is trying to just piece it together and make it look uniform. So that way, anytime you see a video, whether it's like a short or an actual video, like you kind of know, right? Like that's what I was looking for, like branding, more so branding, like, oh, that's cold front. You know, that looks like him. That's going to be him. You know what I mean? That type of thing. We'll see how it goes. Oliver probably can play snaps as an end. Yeah, okay. I'd love for him to stay. I love Eddie. I love me some Eddie Oliver. I was pissed off when he went down for many, many reasons. Eddie Oliver, TJ Sanders on the 4-eye. Okay. Who's going to line up in the 5? If, though, yeah. So I like Russo at the 5 for sure. But they don't. Okay, I mean, maybe you can offset it a little bit on one side versus the other side of the line on the same play, but obviously that's more beneficial when you have an extra couple of people on the line. You know what I mean? So you're talking like a 0 for, let's say, Walker, or if we get, Harris at a 0 look, or maybe one of the ones. And then, so inside the tackle for Oliver and Sanders, and outside the tackle for Groot. I think I'd like Groot better at the 5 than I like Eddie at a 4-eye, if that's my opinion. But I like where your head's at. And making it work with what they have, which hopefully Jim Leonard will also be able to do some of, right? Then I'm with it. I'm with you. Absolutely. Although I think that Deion Walker, don't sleep on him, but I do think that as Dexy said earlier, Xavier Harris could certainly be an option. You know what I mean? Certainly be an option. So hopefully one of these is going to work out. But again, it's going to be fun getting there and figuring it out. You did your part. What'd you do, Gene? Thank you. If that had something to do. Oh, did you subscribe and hit the notification bell, Gene? Because if you did, thank you very much. My bad. I got 4-3 and 3-4 mixed up. Ignore my previous lineup for the line. Okay, I get you. Okay, I remember I was looking at it, kind of going, wait, who's your starters? Who's it? Okay, I follow you. Demon Kiss. B-Ben, 6 years since we sacked the QB in a playoff. Yeah, I know, dude. Like, I know. And that's what I mean when I say we're just a couple situational football plays away from multiple Super Bowls, people. Multiple. That's why I liked Carmichael so much, because nothing's going to phase that dude. I know he's not calling plays, but they're going to be talking all game. Nothing's going to phase him. in my opinion. That's a Super Bowl champion. Well, I just got to you know what? Somebody just mentioned this earlier. I just got the notification the Bills posted Joe Brady at least. Oh yeah, is that Brandon Bean too? Yeah, at the Sabres game. So cool. So cool. Listen, he's part of the community. That's nice, right? Continuity. Continuity was part of it. But nobody uses it anymore. Four. Isn't he old though? I mean, I don't know. I think. Let me see. Yeah, he's 37. Jerry Hughes is 37. I don't. If that's who you're talking about, I don't think that I'm. Unfortunately, that's going to be a pass for me. Bandit now flags. 100% agree. What do you agree with? Okay, he's not going anywhere. Difficulty. Oh, McGovern, I think you're talking about. Keep the cheaper option and move Anderson into whichever. Okay, I like him. And who's the other gentleman? We just drafted SVP. Oh, jeez. Alec Anderson's a stud. I think McGovern actually might be a little bit more expensive, but I still want them to stay with him for the reasons that we spoke about. But keep in mind, on top of Alec Anderson, we also got, I think, a pretty good prospect to fill in here and really step up in either one of these is Cedric Van Prengranger, who I think was just drafted recently. Like, this is only his second year, in the NFL, from Georgia. He fits both those roles too. I think he's actually center guard. So you got some depth, right? You're probably, if you're the Bills, you might be leaning towards the money, right? Especially since you have two viable options, really, for to fill that in, whatever you're going to be missing. Either way, McGovern stay. Demon Kiss says, okay. Comparing slot receivers to what Kean could possibly be. Oh yeah. Well, yeah. I'm with you. Yeah. The more I think about it, I mean, this is just me remembering Anquan Bolden, of course, but I agree. If Josh tries to lob it on a fade, it goes 40 yards. I know you're right, but I'm talking about the 15-yard throw from the 8 to 7 yards into the end zone. He just can't. The launch angle, he can't do it. He just throws piss missiles everywhere. There it is. Yeah. Okay, I didn't even see this. Yes, I'm way behind in these texts or these chats. I'm sorry, but I'm with you. Demon Kiss, we're thinking alike here this evening for sure. If Hoyt recovery continue, we'll watch out. Yes, we were talking about that earlier. That was I am all in the Michael Hoyt game. All in, bro. Game changer. And will fit the scheme excellent. The 3-4. Outside linebacker, edge, mix and match, up and back and forward, on the line, off the line. Love the guy. Actually, on the channel here, if you go back, I mean, I must have just picked the first game that he played, of course, and almost the only game that he played. I put together some clips of why I just think that he hits so many boxes for me as a defensive player. Find that video. It's only like 4 or 5 minutes long, I think. Just a couple of film highlights that, not just the big blow up plays, but even his attention to his job in said play, whatever the play is. He doesn't over pursue, doesn't over commit. Oh, love him. So frustrating when he went down. Well, multiple subs. I think the Patriots are closer to that than the Bills. Time for the Bills to trade to get younger and rebuild. No. You're telling me that you don't think that we were this close with a couple of different situational either play calls or just non-mistakes from multiple Super Bowls. I mean, 13 seconds, a missed field goal. You can even make the case last year. We would have beat the Patriots last Sunday. I mean, sorry, Pats fans, if you're in here, you did not play good football. And in the playoffs, you really didn't play good football. And the snow, the Bills are the best team to play in the snow in the last 20 years. Maybe ever. Well, the Patriots with Brady were pretty good, but lately, no thanks. Yes. Oh, all year. I mean, it was brutal. That's good to say. Yeah. Well, Demon Kiss, remember now, Michael Hoyt also had like 1.5 or 2 sacks in 1.5 games. And Ed Oliver was almost leading the team in sacks in like week 10 or something like that, and he played 2 games or something. It was bad for a while. Whoa, 190. Ethan. Wow. Thank you, brother. Yeah, wow. Holy moly. Ben Granger, that's who I was talking about. About a guard that can keep who's really coming along well. Yeah, okay. Yep. I was saying he was the last person to give us a sack for us in that play. Where's shoes go? I was saying he was the last one. A little confused by that. I can't read what that's at. Ben Granger, that's who I was talking about. A guard that they can keep who's really coming along well. And as far as shoes goes, I was saying Huge was the last person to give a sack for us in the play. Okay. I think maybe just a little bit of a mistype. I can't quite understand it. Patriots drop back to earth next year. They now have to face first place schedule. They'll struggle to win 10 games. Well, yeah, they'll have to first. Yeah, the schedule, no doubt. That's not going to be easier by any stretch. And 10 games, I don't know. I don't know. They'll probably drop back a little bit, but then you also have Drake May with maybe a year of confidence under his belt. We'll see. There's something we got to pay attention to, though, right? I mean, they're not just going to fall off the face of the planet. I would love for that. I hope I'm wrong, but they're going to be a force to be reckoned with for a long time. 2 sacks and forced fumble, 1.5 games. Exactly. Yeah. Demon Kiss, it seems like you're on the same page as far as your ideas of Michael Hoyt. Check out that video. It's only 4 or 5 minutes. See what you think about what I put up there. There's just so many things, even the intangibles, right? Like not even just blowing up a play for -4. I'm talking about literally on a play that goes the opposite side of the line of scrimmage. Well, he does his duty. He does his duty. So not only is he making game-wrecking plays, but he's also not overcommitting. And I don't think he'd give up the big play either because he just follows his job. It was so fantastic to watch for the very small amount of time that we had him. And his energy, oh, my God, up and down and up. I mean, he's just, it was amazing. They've had everything fall their way. No bones about it. How's that? Does that match? No bones about it. Might mean Jerry. Oh, okay. Yeah. I think I know what you're talking about. I was talking about huge, like HUGEH, whatever, with an E, another E. Okay. Yes, that is probably most likely what he was talking about. Okay. Right lineup now. CB1, CB2. Yep. CB, Maxwell, Eddie, Dion, Greg, grouped. Terrell, Hoyt, Anderson. Well, I think we're missing one. Aren't we? So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, we need one more. So you need. Oh, we need another. Wait a minute. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10. Oh, okay. Two drafted. Yes, strong safety and the additional linebacker. Okay, so I personally think that I would go, depending how training camp goes, I would go Dorian Williams instead of, I think you're talking about Andreessen. And I would go with the gentleman that we just spoke about, Jacob Rodriguez, if we can get him, and probably second round, I would think. Strong safety. There's a name that's been tossed around, drafted though. So what about you don't want to see your boy Chenal then? Or by right now, do you mean if there was no non-draft moves made? If that's the case, okay, I'm totally with you. Yeah, okay, I get you. Other than I think that Dorian Williams, at this moment in time, I'm in the Dorian Williams camp. Over Andreessen, that doesn't mean that I can't get my mind changed. That's just where my head is at the moment. The only thing that matters is winning the Super. Thank you. We've been saying that all night. Anything short of that is a lost season. Josh has about 5 seasons left. Doesn't get injured. Patriots are already better. The only thing I don't agree with is the last statement. I actually don't think the Patriots are better. I think they got coached very well, and they did run into some luck. They didn't turn the ball over, so good for them. I think that's some coaching. Yes, right. So much leadership and energy. Michael Hoyt. Amen, brother. Patriots and Seahawks are the only two teams to win at least one playoff game by more than one score. Was that their? Who they play? Who the hell did they play first? Steelers. I think they played. Did they play the Steelers? Yeah, they did. Right. The Steelers aren't even. That's not even a playoff team. I mean, yeah, you're right. Obviously, this is not incorrect, but the Steelers had no business being in the playoffs. One could say that the way that the playoffs are set up is not the best way. Maybe they should go to something like the NBA or the NHL. Some people say it. I don't know if I agree with it or not, but it's a topic because of that reason. The Steelers are in. I don't know. They're just not. They were not good. They were actually really bad. Bills are always in close games, and that's not good enough. 100%. 100%. Situational football, we could be in multiple Super Bowls or have won multiple Super Bowls or at least one. Patriots aren't better than the Bills. They were just more fortunate this season. Agreed. Also agree with Spin here. He is more of a strong safety, a free safety. I think that's what he means. If that's what you're if you're saying that's what I mean, 100% that's what I mean. Cole Bishop is better suited towards the box, down the box, versus free safety, center field, ball hawking receivers in the intermediate to deep passing routes. I think Cole Bishop is better at sticking the run and stopping short route completions, either breaking pass, break pass breakups, or stuffing receivers with no additional yard after catch and actually lighten them up. And I was actually really surprised and delighted to see Maxwell Harrison, when healthy, also likes to lay the hammer. Does he not? Laying the hammer a few times. You guys seem to be real big football and Bills fans, so I know you know the plays that I'm talking about. What time tomorrow? Not sure. It's late as hell. I'm actually going to be getting off here any minute. Did not plan this was going to go this long, but because of all you amazing people hanging out and chatting and having this good discussion and conversation, it went really quickly. I do have a fundraiser in the morning for local youth basketball, to which both of my boys play. I coach. We have a brunch thing, and after that, at some point, maybe midday, early afternoon, very late morning, maybe we'll get back on here. Maybe talk about the offensive lineman. Maybe break down some more contracts. You tell me, actually, if somebody has this is great time, I think, when we got a bunch of people hanging out here. What is it that you want to see of me forward? What do you like more than other things? Do you like the film stuff? Which, again, really hard for me to do. I can't do it on the live. I don't know why. I don't know how this works. I don't even get paid, but I got a video stopped and it wouldn't continue to be pushed to people. It says copyright. So I'm going to listen to it. I don't want, anything to come back to bite me in the ass. So I can't really do the film study live, but I can make videos of that and post them. Let me know what is it that you guys like to hear from me, and what do you want me to continue to do, or something new? We'll get through these last few comments, and then I'm going to hit it. If Bills ownership is satisfied with getting close to the Super Bowl, they will never win one. Well, with the move that they just made, it doesn't seem like they are any more satisfied with getting close, or they would have kept their head coach. I hope. Mafia wants a Super Bowl win, not just close. Oh, totally agree. I was doing no moves, made just what we have. Agreed. Yeah. I didn't. I guess I caught the first. I didn't catch what you said in the beginning, which is just for right now. And I think that is absolutely what it is right now, according to Jim Leonard. Unless Jim Leonard's just going to switch up everything, which I highly doubt. The only people that know that are the people that were in the interview room, right? Well, if McDermott got fired because he gets sort of there, yeah, exactly. Bills changing to an attack style defense would be a game changer. Agreed. That's all he's about. Manipulate the quarterback to make it easier on the defensive backs. That's literally what he wants to do. And if you could just throw one wrinkle to get a quarterback off their read, then your stunts and things from your line and your linebacking core will then get after the quarterback. So it's kind of like working in symmetry. Either get after him real quick, make him make a terrible decision, or throw a wrinkle on the defensive side, the backfield side, to then let the defensive rush get that extra half of a second to take down the quarterback. The marriage is quite beautiful when done right way in Jim Leonard's defense. Anyone here think about Mac Hollins? Bring him back? Oh, Khalil Mack. Oh, yeah, now I think he's kind of over with too. Don't know this name, Dexy. I'll look into him. Oh, is this the kid? Is this the dude that had like 3 interceptions in one day of practice at the Senior Bowl? I think it might be. But let me know. I'm actually taking that name down here, and I gotta look into him. Where's he rated, or where's he projected? Just keep in mind the Bills don't pick until 26th. And I don't know that they'll take a safety with the first, but I don't know. With Jim Leonard, maybe they do. We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen here. There's going to be uses, but I agree. I'm just saying that if we're going to get a safety, I'd rather get a free safety to pair with Bishop than get more of a run blocking guy and have to ask Cole to play more of the one high show. I guess is where I'm getting at. Perfect world for me, based off of what he was labeled. And that's a free set. Yeah, I get it. I do. And what's next to their name and like italic or whatever, I totally understand it. And that's kind of like the 3-4 thing. Yeah, he's a linebacker, but he's lining up on the on the line of scrimmage, and a 3-point doesn't really seem like he's a linebacker, but he's a linebacker. I totally get you. I agree with you. I think that kid's a beast. I think he's gonna be a stud. Agreed there. Thanks for the great convo. Likewise, guys. You're going to be safe. Thank you. 99, very informative, respecting all opinions is awesome. They literally read every comment. Hey, man, I'm going to try. I'm delayed. I'm absolutely delayed. And I guess I hope that it gets even worse. That means even more people are coming in here and hanging out and being a part of this. But I'll do my best because I like it too. I like the conversation. I love the conversation. I actually want to get to the point where, buddy of mine has some company. I got to figure out who it is. That there's a link that you guys could call in, right? You click this link from your cell phone. It's safe, secure, whatever. And you call in, ask your questions. We talk, whatever. We chat versus just the comment stuff. Some people might like that too. And I'll as we continue with this thing, I'll figure some stuff out and ask people that I'm starting to be introduced to and get to know. But I appreciate a good chat over. It was fun to have a great night. Yeah, no bones about it. Likewise, brother, man, or sister. Again, I don't know based on the name. Cold Front is a great name. Thank you. Good night, all, and hail. Yes. Glad I stumbled on. Okay, so Gene, so you're Janine, you're new. Yes, that's right. And you said you subscribe. Appreciate it. Yeah, my name is Dustin, by the way. Nice to meet all of you. Appreciate you. Bud Clark. Right. Okay. So, saw a little bit about him, and my understanding is that he has shown the best coverage, safety in 6 or 7 years coming out of the Senior Bowl. Is that right? I mean, does that mean he's going to be a first rounder guy and he wouldn't even last to us even if we wanted to go to him at 26? I don't know. TCU, not a ridiculously perennial. I mean, they had obviously LT, but since then they don't pump out Pro Bowlers. Is my point. But I heard about this dude. Buddy of mine actually is down there also, and he said it's unbelievable. Subscribed. Oh, no bones about it. Appreciate it, man. You're doing great and actually talk with your community. That's why we like having a conversation with you. As long as you have a great thank you. Yeah, thank you. This is just hanging out, right? Talking ball. That's what I like to do. Love to do. And everybody in here extremely educated, good questions, good statements. Again, I'm not saying I know everything. I feel that I know more than most, and I have no problem putting my thoughts out there and doing the videos and everything, but appreciate it. We're all having fun together. Okay. All right. So then that's obviously going to give you an option to take him when you need, or do we try to really, is there anywhere, Dexy, and maybe tomorrow or soon, I don't know if it's going to be tomorrow, but soon we can get into this again. And if you can get on here and everybody else, I'd also like to know people's thoughts, because as we get closer, we might have enough capital to try to trade up. If there's somebody that we know we want, that's maybe a top 15 guy, right? Or somewhere between 12 and 18. Do we try to trade up and give away a third, fourth, or a third, or whatever it may take to get, a top 15? I don't know. I don't think that jury's out yet, and I think that we'll know sooner rather than later if that's more of a possibility, but it's going to be exciting, right? It is going to be super exciting. This could be. Porter is a huge part of why Bishop did what he did, though, right? So everyone just keep posting comments. That way his stream can go on until midnight. Yeah, right. No kidding. No kidding, Spin. I said I got to go, people. I'm only kidding. Good night. They all got caught in this bad snowy weather. Yeah, everybody be safe for sure. It's been pretty nasty upstate New York and really the whole East Coast. The only thing about Carter is he's always been he's like 24, right? Yeah. But you know what? I'm past the point of, I got to be honest with you, Dexy, I'm past the point of, let's develop some young guys. You only have so long. You only have so long with Josh Allen. Yeah, let's just call it what it is. In another 3, maybe 4, he's not going to be Josh Allen. He might still be a Pro Bowl caliber quarterback, but it's not going to be with his legs as much. He's going to have to be more of a pocket guy. I'm not saying he can't get away with it. I'm just saying he's not going to be Josh Allen. Our best bet is to do it within 24 months. So even if the guy's 24, if he's what you want, or if he's a guy that you would consider trading for or signing as a free agent 3 years into his career, if he was 24 then, go get him. Go get him. Why? It's the theme of this evening, because the only thing that matters is the Super Bowl. And if you got to blow everything up and then worry about what to do 5 years from now, if you win a Super Bowl, or God willing 2, so friggin' be it. You got a brand new stadium, you got a brand new coach, you got a brand new offensive coordinator, brand new defensive coordinator, brand new special teams coordinator, and you're going to have brand new position coaches before you know it. It's now. Time is now. Giants fans here, I might be looking for a new team after our own was great friends with that stuff. Yeah, well, I don't. Yeah, he commented on that as well, didn't he? That was kind of a weird comment. Click the bell for more ball talk on Bills with no bull. Thank you. Yeah, no kidding. Appreciate you. What is your name and where is the Hoyt videos? Thanks. My name is Cold Front Buffalo. Right here on YouTube. So if you're in here, which you are, just click the I don't even know. Click what do you click? You go to my profile, I guess, the main page, and then go to videos. And if you scroll down, you'll start to see some thumbnails that are football field, right? Like looks like a video or a photo of football field. And those are some of my film reviews. It's been a couple months since I got into that because we started doing other things. But I'm going to get back into the offseason as well. And one of them, the thumbnail, is actually Michael Hoyt. There's more than one. I think there's 2 Michael Hoyt videos, if I can remember correct. Maybe just one. But the thumbnail is Michael Hoyt. Yeah, it's only about, here it is. It's only 4 minutes and 40 seconds. Actually, can I do this? Let me do this. Let me see if I'm good at this. Can I post? How do I do it? Post a comment in here? Never done this. Did that work? I just threw a comment in the comments. I don't know if that makes any sense at all, but you are live, edit, remove. Oh, no. Did you guys see the comment? Looks like it went to somewhere else, like X or something. Share referral link. Can you guys see the? Oh, yeah. Okay. It's in there. Yeah, that's the link to that video that I just put into the comment. Okay, excellent. Perfect. Let's see. Stream started at 174. Oh, shit. 191. Really cool. Thank you, everybody. But Clark would be a day one starter for sure. And I think the highest he goes is the 3rd, but was projected as a 6th before the Senior Bowl, right? So I'd say 4th round. So I wouldn't let him go past the 3rd. If they want that, I would not let that guy go past the 3rd. Because I think if you show up in a situation like that, then you might just be destined to do good things in high pressure situations. And that's what we haven't done. Am I wrong? I mean, up until Trey White's pass deflect that lands in Cole Bishop's arms, when was the last time we sealed a game on defense in the playoffs? Just close it down, 4th quarter, boom, over. Take your knees. You know? Big moments, big plays. Forget which coach said it. Big players need to make the biggest plays in the biggest moments. Those are the best players. I forget who. It might have been Belichick or Saban or Coach Krzyzewski from Duke or something. I don't know who it was, but a great saying. Link is posted. Good. It's there. I see the link. Comp picks to who? I'm not sure. Spin. I'm sorry, boys and girls. I got to get me another one of these things here. Body Armor, 0 sugar, lemon lime. This thing was great, by the way. I mean, I'm a water guy, but we had one of these lying around. Pretty ridiculous. Body Armor, 0 sugar. Pretty good. Appreciate all of you. Thank you very much. Love every single one of you. Thank you for all the conversation this evening. We'll talk to you soon. Let me know. Again, comment on the video later once it's posted. It automatically gets posted after it comes off of live or whatever. Put in there what you want to see. What do you want me to do? If there's anything that we haven't done already. Sorry about that. If there's anything that we haven't done already or that you want to see, what type of videos, what you want to talk about, comments, whatever, let me know and we'll do our best to see those or to do those. I appreciate all of you. Have a great night. As always, when I know something, you'll know it. Go Bills. Cold Front.